Champions League football is back on Wednesday. Man United playing away at the Parken Stadium down in Copenhagen, that is Denmark, that capacitates 38,065 people in that stadium. Man United are really charged up for this after obviously getting back to the winning ways by beating the side of Fulham by 1-0 scored by Bruno Fernandes. It was really an exquisite finish coming in from the Portuguese Magnifico, that is Bruno Fernandes, and Erik ten Hag is had absolutely it that he continues his pursuit for Man United to obviously go through the group stages. Remember, United now has only 3 points into that group, and they've gone ahead to play 3 games. They've lost 2 and won 1. They're left with a game away at Copenhagen, away at Galatasaray, and Bayern Munich at Old Trafford. Those are the 3 games they're left with, and that means if United is to go through, they're supposed to beat Copenhagen and Galatasaray. That's the only way to see to it that this team of Man United really goes in through. Because if you really give any points to Galatasaray or Copenhagen, you are giving them a chance to obviously come close to you. That group really has Bayern Munich having 9 points, Galatasaray is having 4, Man United is having 3, and Copenhagen is having 1. Meaning that for United to see to it that they obviously make a very big call for them to qualify. If they win against Galatasaray and Copenhagen, that means Copenhagen will be having 1 point, because you don't expect Copenhagen to go to Bayern Munich and really get a point. You don't expect Galatasaray to go to Bayern Munich and obviously get a point. So that means all of those 2 teams will be still at 1 point. That is for Copenhagen, and 3 points and 4 points for Galatasaray. Then United will be having 9 points, and remember, they will be playing each other at the end of the match that's going to be played on the 12th of December. So it puts us in a situation of really getting ourselves to where we deserve to be as a club of Man United. Get those 2 wins and we'll be through. That's it. Get those 2 wins and Man United will be through. So for Copenhagen, they played over the weekend and they beat a side called Randers by 4-2. Randers were the first ones to score through Christiansen and Rasmus Falk. You know, he's a brother to Rasmus Højlund, went ahead to obviously level the game. Then in the 60th minute, Nodi gave Randers a lead. Then Claesson in the 66th minute leveled the game. Then Larsson gave Copenhagen a lead in the 72nd minute. Then Victor Frøkjobod went ahead to obviously give them the 4th goal, meaning that they had obviously to really strain hard to obviously win that game, because they won it late and they would have gone ahead to stretch themselves. The same applies to Man United. They had obviously to score in the 90th plus 1 minute through Bruno Fernandes to obviously get that game going to where they wanted to be. When you go to Manchester United, the absentees are Casemiro is out until January. Luke Shaw is out. Lisandro Martinez is out. Who else is out? Amad Diallo is still out. Tyrell Malacia is out. But the beauty of that is Tyrell Malacia, Amad Diallo are really on the grass. And next week, they're expected to take part into the group training of Manchester United, you know, group team training of Manchester United. But the likes of Kobe Menu are all available. Rafael Varane was on the bench. He was one of the unused substitutes, and he is obviously ready to play. I think Rafael Varane came in through and we played like 3-4 minutes after we scored that goal. And the other guy is Marcus Rashford. We don't know how the state of his head is obviously going to be, but hope he's obviously going to be available to take part into that tie between Manchester United and the side of Copenhagen at Old Trafford. So let's obviously jet to the side of Copenhagen and see who is in, who is out. Now, William Clem is out with a leg injury. David Chocholava is out with an injury. Meling is out with a muscle injury. And Muhammad Erinyosi was doubtful and never played the game they played in the weekend. So maybe you never know. They're obviously preparing him to come in through and obviously play this game. But Valdemar Loud could be involved in the squad on Wednesday. Dennis Valvo and Kenneth Dix will obviously come in through and do the needful. Now, the two brothers of Rasmus Højlund, that is Oscar Højlund and Emil Højlund, obviously came in through and might obviously be pushing in for a start into that encounter. But for Man United, all is all and ready to obviously take it to where we deserve to be. Now, let's go into the predicted starting 11 of Man United as we really see how this team might line up at the Parken Stadium down in Denmark. Let's see close to 300 likes in this video. Don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, obviously, in goal, there is no other that can obviously get this man out of the goal. I think you know him very well. That is Andre Onana. He's really coming good. The previous 4 games of Man United, he has gone ahead to obviously show us that he's obviously becoming and getting better and better at what he is good about. So he obviously put up some good saves against the team that we played over the weekend, that is Fulham. Close to 2-3 were the saves he made. That is none other than Andre Onana. The other guy that we anticipate to come in through and obviously start into this game of football as the right back is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That is it. You know, for now, all we need is a fresh player. Dalot has shown us that he's really good, but he has played very many games. And as we are going into the international break, and you know that Portugal is going to use him in the 2 games they're going to play, they've already gone ahead to qualify. You just have to rest him in this game. You play him on the bench, and maybe he comes on and plays some 20-15 minutes towards the end of the game as a left back or a right back, because they have shown us that he can feature prominently in any of those. So that is Aaron Wan-Bissaka for you, and he played very well in the game of Crystal Palace. And as we are going to be playing away from home, and Ten Hag is obviously going to be having a watertight defense, he needs a right back with a defensive mind. That is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Then on the left back, Dalot is the one who plays as a left back in the game of Fulham. But I all think that it's obviously not going to be Diego Dalot to start. There is a man who never really played a minute in that game. That was Sergio Reguilón, and I think Sergio Reguilón is obviously going to be played as the left back. And I'm going to be very stunned if at all Erik ten Hag gets Dalot to play this game, because I believe Dalot just deserves to be rested because he has played lots of games, and we don't want to lose him like we lost him in the World Cup after he had gone ahead to play very many games for the club of Manchester United. On the right-sided centre-back, obviously we will come back the player called Raphael Varane. That is it. Raphael Varane is a player that really never played at the start of the game and came in through and really played like 3-4 minutes in the game of Fulham, and I think he's obviously ready to take his mantle and play part into the defense of Manchester United, and we all anticipate that he is obviously going to start and give us that leadership in a game where you need Champions League experience. He's a player that no one matches when it comes to Champions League experience at the club of Manchester United. So as it stands, it's all about Varane pairing with the central defense. Lindelof had some illness. He was not part of the squad that traveled to London as we took on Fulham. The other player that obviously was there, Evans, Harry Maguire. Now, we're asking ourselves, who's obviously going to play alongside Raphael Varane? And obviously, I know that Ten Hag is going to go with Harry Maguire to obviously play a part into this game, because I know their plans of United using those set pieces to see it that obviously threaten their enemy in positions of the final third of the pitch as far as the aerial balls are really concerned. When we go to the double pivot, I know that Amrabat never played any minute in that game, and we all knew that there was a time when you felt like you need him to come in through and play part into that midfield, and Ten Hag kept him on the bench, and I think it's high time he got unleashed into that game as he plays alongside Christian Eriksen, because the beauty of Amrabat is he can play single pivot single-handedly. That is it. And Eriksen can obviously really try to obviously see to it that he gives us that control, receiving that ball from the defenders and obviously pass it through the midfield and connect the midfield to the attack. And Amrabat can easily come in through and also do that, but he can do a lot when it comes to shielding the back four. The recent games of Man United, Amrabat has not been really amazing. The game of Copenhagen, he was taken off the field. He was taken off after 45 minutes. Then Ten Hag came in through and obviously took him off after 45 minutes. We played against Manchester City. Then in the game of Newcastle, I think they took him off also. And over the weekend, he never obviously went ahead to play. Is it because he's really ill and his performances are not all that impressing the manager? Nobody knows. So it really leaves us in a situation asking whether the manager is planning to obviously play him or not. But I think he has to play him as we are going to be playing away from home. And that obviously gives us a benefit into that midfield. And you ask yourself, is Scott McTominay going to be played in that double pivot? You know? And it's hard for me to believe that Ten Hag is not going to obviously use that guy, that he's Scott McTominay. But I know that double pivot might have Eriksen and Amrabat, or Eriksen and Scott McTominay. But I think we need Amrabat into that team. Kobe Mainoo is also in the mix. I don't know how. He's obviously going to go on and feature into that game. Then we go to the central attacking midfield. Obviously, captain, fantastic Bruno Fernandes. And if he continues to be composed as he was in the game of Fulham, I think it's obviously going to be one of those games that we are going to win easily. That is it. Because all we need is that one person to give us a pass that will obviously take us to where we are supposed to be as a club of Manchester United. On the right attacking side of the midfield, I don't think Anthony will start, and I'll be shocked if at all Anthony goes ahead to start onto the side. I think Facundo Pellistri will come in through and obviously play part into that beautiful game of football. And you saw to it that when he came on through, he put up an assist. With the kind of the manager that Erik ten Hag is, in rewarding players who obviously perform well, Facundo Pellistri deserves a start and Anthony deserves to go to the bench. So a game where we are obviously going to really have, so it really requires a lot of intensity and work rate. I think this is where you bring on Facundo Pellistri to play like 60 minutes and Anthony comes in off the field of the bench to come in and obviously play remaining 20 or 30, but Facundo Pellistri deserves a start into that game. Then on the left, Marcus Rashford obviously plays on the left attacking side of the midfield to obviously take over Garnacho. And if you're Erik ten Hag, this is really one of the very, very contagious changes that you might think about, because Garnacho performed really very well in that game, and all he needs is to be played more and more games into that position to see to it that he gets used to really starting games and obviously kill him off. But Marcus Rashford, if he's back, you obviously get to know that it's hard for Erik ten Hag to obviously bench him. But I think I'll be shocked if at all Garnacho starts. But Ten Hag might obviously start off Garnacho and says, all right, he brought some good intensity, and Rashford should also get the intensity that the team really deserves as he starts off the bench. But I believe he's going to start. Then, who is leading the line? Rasmus Højlund, who was going to hit to score 3 goals in the Champions League, and he's obviously going to be playing at the stadium where he used to play at the age of, was it 16, 17, before he obviously crossed to Australia, where Atalanta really bought him and they got £70 million from the player. So if we obviously line up very well like that, I think we have every requirement to win that game. And it's obviously required, or it's supposed to be a must-win for the club of Man United. Let no one lie to you. Let no one really look through your eyes and thinks that if we don't win this game of football, we obviously have any chance to qualify, because we will be giving Copenhagen to go ahead of us, and all we need is to beat Copenhagen, and after beating them, we have to be having 6 points, because Galatasaray cannot survive in Munich. They're obviously going to get beaten there, and after beating them, they will be having 4 points, and United will be having 6 points. So if at all after the international break we play Galatasaray and beat them, right, that will be game over. It will be game over. That is it. Because if we draw against them, they will be having 5 and we'll be having 7, meaning that if you draw with Bayern Munich and they win, they obviously go through and we go to the UEFA Europa League because of the head-to-head. So all we need is to beat them. Beat them, get them out of the equation, and the rest will be history. So that's what I had for the team of Man United and its predictability, according to how Erik ten Hag will obviously go ahead and obviously choose it. But all in all, I see a 2-1 win for the club of Man United away from home. I just see that 2-1 win away from home, but it's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be a hard game that we need to fight hard, and put in a shift that is going to help us really surpass that team of Copenhagen. When they came in at Old Trafford, they showed us that they can obviously play that volley. They can knock it around very well, and you anticipate that they can obviously cause havoc to us. So that is it. That is the predicted starting 11. Go into the comment section, tell me your prediction, tell me your addition and subtraction from these 11 players I'm gonna hate to put up onto the screen, on who do you want to start and who don't you want to start in there for you. Sorokan David is my name. Hope you guys are really having a fantastic night. See you in the remaining time as you guys get ready to go to bed. I'm out, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David, may the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum.